Let's align all of the text in our footer vertically to the center. So that's going to be on the cross axis. So let's go into our code editor, Sublime Text. Let's find the footer CSS. And under where it says display flex, let's go align-items center. So we'll punch in here, align items, and this is on the cross axis. And we'll hit center. Put your semicolon in at the end of the declaration and save that. And let's refresh. You can see they're now all aligned on the vertical centers. Let's say we want to put the copyright at the bottom of its div. So let's go back to our text editor. And let's go to footer.copyright. We already have the CSS rule right down here. And let's add, after the flex grow 1, let's add a new declaration on a new line. Align self. So that's align self, that's a new one. And flex-end. Flex-end. So this is the end of the container of the flex. Let's save that and refresh. You notice it moves the container, the div container, down to the very bottom of the flex container. All right, some other things we want to look at. Let's look at the nav bar in our finished version. You notice how they're not flex grow 1s. You notice how these links at the top in the nav bar are taking up the whole space vertically in the logo. We don't want to do that because you can see they only take up some space. So let's play with that in the one we're working on to get those to not fill up the whole nav bar now in a vertical way. So we can come back here first and let's take out of the navbar LI rule. So we're going to go up here and navbar LI. Let's take the flex grow 1 out of there that we played with earlier. File save, refresh. And that keeps them from going all the way across. Let's go ahead and align in the nav bar things to the center vertically. So this will be up and down, not horizontally. We're going to center the text content vertically in the nav bar. All right, so we'll go to navbar. .navbar is our rule, and under display flex, we're going to punch in. And once again, we're going to align items, dash items, center, semicolon. Now remember, this is on the cross axis. That's why we're using align dash items. Refresh that. And you notice how they've lined up along a vertical centering here. All right, let's make the sign up a little bit bigger vertically, and we're going to stretch it. We're going to go into the navbar sign up. Because notice it's a little bit bigger than our example over here. So let's go into our navbar.signup CSS rule on our main.css page. There's navbar.signup, and we're going to go in and under punch in right above the background and put in align self. and we're going to put stretch. Make sure you put your semicolon in if it doesn't code autocomplete. Save and refresh. That way you can get it to actually take up the whole space. So you notice the sign up doesn't center vertically any longer. Let's fix that now. So in the nav bar sign up, see how sign up's just a little above the vertical center. Let's fix that. In your nav bar sign up rule, still on your main CSS page, above the align item center, or actually right below the stretch. Let's punch in there. We're going to add 2 lines. We're going to go display flex, colon, flex to create a flex container. Then on a line right under that, another new declaration that says align item center. Put your semicolon in, and that will put it on the cross axis again. Refresh that. And everything's vertically centered again. Now let's look at our other finished version. You notice how they're not taking up the full area. There's space around the outside of each of these elements. Remember, space between content and the inside of a box is padding. Space outside of an item to another item is called margin. So in the navbar LI, let's add 10 pixels of margin to each one so that our original has that 10 pixels of margin around each one to push them apart a little bit. So let's go up to navbar LI in our main CSS sheet. So there's .navbar LI, and let's punch in above color and write a new declaration to this rule, margin colon 10px. Remember, if you only put one value in, this is working on the box model. Remember, box model has padding, which is inside the box space, margin, which is outside the box space. If you only put one value in, it's going to do it for top, right, bottom, and left. If you wanted different margins for each one of those, you could go 4 different values starting with top, right, bottom, and left. But since we're putting in 10 pixels in one value for margin on navbar LI, each of the 4 sides is going to get 10 pixels of margin. Let's refresh. And you can now see it starting to break apart like in our finished example.